Live auditions in front of real-life human beings are slowly but surely going the way of the western black rhinoceros, or the Pyrenean ibex, or the passenger pigeon, or the quagga, or the dodo. What do I mean by this? I mean that it's being driven to extinction by the advancement of us super smart vehicle driving monkeys. We are living in the information age, the age of the internet, and for people like you and me, this is a great thing. This means you no longer have to live in LA to have a good shot at making it. That being said, even if you live in LA, a lot of your audition tapes are going to be recorded digitally and sent off on the internet to be seen by casting directors. The internet has opened a door for anybody to get discovered no matter where they live. So today we're going to be talking about every single thing you need to do from the moment you get your audition notice to the moment that your audition tape is sent out to be seen. Specifically, we're going to be discussing what it's like when you get a professional to do your tape for you. So we won't go into video and lighting in this video. This is more for the actor's perspective. There are tons of skilled professionals all across the country that will help you produce your audition tape. A lot of these are pretty cheap, and most importantly, the quality of your audition tape will be so above and beyond all of your competition. If your tape looks terrible with awful lighting and no readers, the casting director is going to skip you in 10 seconds. It really is worth it to have good quality tapes. Alright, so let's get into it. How do we prepare? So I checked my email and I've just gotten a request from my agent for a video audition tape. In this email, you should receive a breakdown of the project. This is what a breakdown looks like. The main function of the breakdown is to tell you what the project is and to give a brief description of the story and character you're auditioning for. Sometimes it'll have other characters in there too. Occasionally, the breakdown will also give basic information on the project, such as who is producing, who's directing, approximate budget, and so on. Sometimes these are really bare bones, and sometimes they're super detailed. Now, the second thing you should receive in this email is the sides. What are sides, you may ask? The sides are the few pages of the script you will be auditioning. Usually they look like this, with a clear start and end point designated, usually in Sharpie. These sides can range anywhere from one line on one page to multiple monologues on 10 pages, but usually they're around 2 to 5 pages in my experience. You should also check your Actors Access C-mail to make sure that you have all the instructions for the taping. The instructions for the tape are very important. If you don't follow the instructions to a T, it's likely that your videotape will never even be seen by casting directors. These directions can be weirdly specific at times and vary from casting director to casting director, so it's very important that you bring these for your videographer. If you don't have an Actors Access yet or don't even know what that is, don't worry, we're going to cover that in another video. Now, sometimes these instructions are going to come along with the sides and breakdown anyways, and you won't need to do any further searching to find them. Look for these slating instructions in this section. If you're not sure what a slate is, don't worry, we're going to cover that in a lot more depth in another video, but just to give you the basic rundown, a slate is the basic information that you say aloud in your audition tape that lets them know your name, your agent, and the role you're auditioning for. Sometimes they'll add things onto this, sometimes it'll just be your name. Usually the slate goes at the very beginning of your audition tape. Other than that, the instructions are mostly just technical aspects for your videographer. This includes what video format they want, where they want the slate to be edited in, and other case-by-case information that you'll have to get from the instructions. Step 2. Now hopefully at this point you've already done your Googling and you know which business you're going to use to produce your video audition tape. It's time to get out your phone and call them and set up an appointment right now. Immediately. Because sometimes the deadline on these auditions comes insanely quickly. If you want to survive in this industry, you have to be able to jump on these opportunities lightning fast. So call your local videographer and make an appointment ASAP. You'll have to send them the breakdown, sides, and instructions for the taping. If the production requires that you sign a non-disclosure agreement, your videographer will have to do the same, so make sure you bring 2 copies. Don't mess around with these NDAs. If you share this stuff on social media, they will come after you. Step 3. Memorize the lines like the back of your hand. I want you to know your lines better than you know the ABCs. I want you to know your lines better than you know the lyrics to the Happy Birthday song. I want you to know your lines better than you know your own mother. Memorize your lines better than you had Crown Victoria headlights memorized in high school. If you're not off book, don't even bother, honestly. If you are off book, guess what? You're already better than half the competition. Now, if you're like 85% and there's just like one paragraph that trips you up or something, don't worry about it too much. But this is only if you've just gotten this script. If you have to refer to the script after every single line you say, then you're not ready. If you're taking weird, unnatural beats to remember every line, you're not ready. Step 4, the audition itself. Show up about 15 minutes early. Punctuality will go a long way, I promise. Some places will offer you coaching and practice along with your audition tape. This can be super valuable to some people and just completely unnecessary to others. But regardless of whether you need it or not, make sure to take your videographer's word into account whenever you're doing your scene. Most of their direction will probably be centered around technical aspects of shooting anyways. Now, usually at these places, and including live auditions, there will be somebody recording and somebody reading with you. Sometimes it's one person doing both jobs. You will be the only person on camera, however. The frame will look exactly like this this video here. You need good lighting, a plain background, and nothing distracting. Do not necessarily treat your performance the same as you would treat it on set. Plant your feet. Don't try to move too much in this frame, and don't bring any props or anything like that. You want to keep your eye line near the lens, but not directly on it. So say in your scene you're talking to two different people, one of them can live right here, and one of them can live right here, just off to the sides of the camera. Ideally, your rear will be standing there so you can just look at them. Keep your hair out of your face and don't wear any hats. Also try to stay away from logos, stripes, or distracting patterns. The standard background color for these video audition tapes is blue for some reason, so just try not to wear blue to your video audition tape, unless you want to look like a floating head. Step 5, the performance. This is the fun part. This is the part where you get to flex those muscles that made you want to do this in the first place. It may feel a little awkward being recorded in a room that's likely nothing like the one that's in the scene, but you have to be willing to just go for it. Don't be afraid to play out the scene as it needs to be, even if you're screaming or crying or laughing. Take redirection if your videographer offers you valuable feedback. Watch the tape afterwards to make sure you're happy with it. If not, it's time to do another take. The beauty of audition tapes over live auditions is that you get as many tries as you want to get just the right take, and that'll be their first impression of you. Okay, so if you remember to do all of these things and you show up prepared, your chances of booking these roles increases drastically. Casting directors are sometimes sitting around all day watching hundreds, if not thousands of people do the exact same scene. For this reason, the first 10 seconds of your audition tape are vitally important. This is the time where they decide if they're gonna keep watching the whole thing or if they're just gonna skip on to the next person. Bad audio and bad lighting are gonna be the first things that cause them to skip over you. If you lose out on a role, at least let it be because you're not right for it and not because the tape itself sucked. But like I said, I highly encourage you to get it done professionally if you're a beginner, or if you lack the equipment and manpower to do it yourself. If you do it on your webcam or on your iPhone like a selfie, nobody's gonna take you seriously. You gotta invest in yourself sometimes. That being said, video audition tapes are really not expensive at all if you know where to look. You get what you pay for up to a certain point, but if somebody's charging hundreds of dollars for a video tape, don't do that. There's a diminishing return with the quality of video audition tapes at a certain point. I would search for any business that offers pricing between 20 and 100 bucks an hour. But Google your area and see what's around. If you're in a super oversaturated market like LA, you can find audition tapes in good quality for as low as like 20 bucks. So make your next audition tape amazing and start beating your competition. This is Cam with Moonlit Productions. Peace! Blah blah.